Hello, and welcome back to Speak English Daily.
Hi, everyone. We are very happy to see you here today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Speak English Daily. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mike. We're happy you're here with us today because we're going to learn two very common English words that many learners confuse: learn and teach.
These two words are simple, but they can be confusing because they are connected to the same situation. When someone gives you knowledge, you learn. When you give knowledge to another person, you teach.
That's the main idea for today's lesson, and we're going to practice it with many easy examples so you can use these words naturally in everyday English.
And if you enjoy simple English lessons that help you speak more confidently, don't forget to subscribe to Speak English Daily. We make practical lessons like this to help you use English in real conversations.
So, Anna, let's start with a very common mistake. Imagine someone says, "I teach English every day because I want to improve my English."
I understand what that person means, but there is a problem with the sentence.
What is the problem?
If the person is studying English and wants to become better at English, they should say, "I learn English every day."
Right, because the person is getting knowledge. They are studying, practicing, and gaining a skill.
Exactly. So we use learn when we receive knowledge or develop a skill.
And what if the person is an English teacher?
Then they can say, "I teach English every day."
So we have two different meanings. I learn English every day means I am studying English. I teach English every day means I help other people learn English.
That's the basic difference. Learn means you get knowledge or a skill. Teach means you give knowledge or a skill to someone else.
Let me make that even easier. Imagine that Anna knows how to cook, but I don't know how to cook.
So I can teach you how to cook.
And I can learn how to cook from you.
Exactly. I give the knowledge and you receive the knowledge.
I think this is the easiest picture to remember. The learner receives and the teacher gives.
Let's use English as an example. I am studying English, so I learn English.
And if Anna helps me improve my English, she teaches me English.
Now let's switch roles. Imagine Mike is learning how to play the guitar.
I don't know much about the guitar, so Anna shows me how to play.
Then I teach Mike how to play the guitar.
And I learn how to play the guitar from Anna.
Notice the direction. The knowledge moves from the teacher to the learner.
That's a useful way to think about these words. The teacher gives, the learner receives.
Let's try some very simple examples. I learn English.
I teach English.
She learns a new word.
She teaches her friend a new word.
He learns a new skill.
He teaches his brother a new skill.
The student learns from the teacher.
The teacher teaches the student.
You can already see how the two words are connected, but they are not interchangeable.
Right. You cannot normally say, "My teacher learned me English."
That's a very common mistake.
So what should I say?
You can say, "My teacher taught me English."
And if I want to talk about myself?
You can say, "I learned English from my teacher."
So these two sentences describe the same situation from different sides.
Yes, my teacher taught me English. The teacher is giving the knowledge.
I learned English from my teacher. The student is receiving the knowledge.
Let's look at some useful sentence patterns now. With learn, we can say, learn something.
For example, I learned a new word today.
Or, she learned a new skill.
We can also say, learn to do something.
For example, I want to learn to swim.
Or, he is learning to drive.
We can also say, learn how to do something.
I'm learning how to cook.
She learned how to use a computer.
These are very useful patterns because we use them when we talk about skills.
Now let's look at teach. We can say, teach someone something.
For example, my teacher taught me English.
Or, my father taught me a new word.
We can also say, teach someone to do something.
For example, my father taught me to ride a bicycle.
And we can say, teach someone how to do something.
My sister taught me how to make coffee.
So if you want to talk about learning a skill, you can say, I learned how to make coffee.
And if you want to talk about the person who helped you, you can say, my sister taught me how to make coffee.
Let's try another situation. Imagine a child wants to learn how to ride a bicycle.
The child learns to ride a bicycle.
And the parent teaches the child to ride a bicycle.
Or the parent teaches the child how to ride a bicycle.
Good. Now imagine the child becomes older and learns how to play the piano.
The child learns to play the piano.
And the piano teacher teaches the child to play the piano.
Notice something important. The same skill can use both words, but the person changes.
The person receiving the skill learns.
The person giving the skill teaches.
Let's make this even more personal. Anna, what are you learning these days?
I'm learning Spanish.
And what can you teach someone?
I can teach someone English.
Good. Now I'll try. I'm learning how to cook.
And what can you teach someone?
I can teach someone how to use a computer.
Perfect. The sentences are simple, but they show the difference very clearly.
Let's do a few quick corrections before we finish. Listen carefully and think about the better sentence.
I teach English because I want to improve.
If you mean you are studying English, say, I learn English because I want to improve.
My teacher learned me English.
Say, my teacher taught me English.
I taught English from my teacher.
Say, I learned English from my teacher.
My brother teaches how to cook.
Say, my brother teaches me how to cook.
And one last one. I am teaching how to drive.
If you mean you are learning, say, I am learning how to drive.
Great. So remember the simple picture. The learner receives, and the teacher gives.
If you are getting knowledge or developing a skill, use learn.
If you are giving knowledge or helping another person develop a skill, use teach.
And keep practicing these two words in simple sentences, because once you understand who is receiving and who is giving, choosing between learn and teach becomes much easier.
Now, let's take these two words out of the classroom and put them into everyday situations, because this is where you will really start to feel the difference.
Good idea. Sometimes a word is easy to understand when we study it, but using it in a real conversation can feel different.
So let's imagine some normal situations that you might experience at school, at home, at work, with friends, or even while watching English videos online.
Let's start with school. Imagine you're sitting in an English class.
You are listening to your teacher, reading a short story, and practicing new words.
You can say, I learn English at school.
That's a very simple and natural sentence. You are the student, so you are learning.
And what can we say about the teacher?
My teacher teaches me English.
So we have two people in the same situation. The student learns and the teacher teaches.
Right. Here's another sentence. I learned a lot from my teacher.
I like that sentence because from tells us where the knowledge came from.
Yes. When you say, I learned something from someone, you are saying that person helped you gain knowledge or a skill.
For example, I learned a lot from my English teacher.
Or, I learned many new words from my teacher.
And we can change the sentence to focus on the teacher. My teacher taught me many new words.
Notice how these two sentences are connected. My teacher taught me many new words. I learned many new words from my teacher.
Same situation, different point of view.
Exactly. If you remember that pattern, you can make many useful sentences.
Let's move from school to home. This is another place where people learn and teach every day.
Imagine your mother knows how to cook a special meal, but you don't know how to make it.
She shows you what to do and you practice with her.
Then you can say, my mother taught me how to cook.
And I can say, I learned how to cook from my mother.
Both sentences are useful. The first one focuses on your mother and what she did.
The second one focuses on me and what I learned.
Let's imagine another family situation. Maybe your older brother knows how to fix a bicycle.
He shows you how to repair it.
You could say, my brother taught me how to fix my bicycle.
And I could say, I learned how to fix my bicycle from my brother.
This pattern is very common in English. Someone teaches you something and you learn something from that person.
Let's say that again with a different example. My father taught me how to drive.
I learned how to drive from my father.
My sister taught me how to make coffee.
I learned how to make coffee from my sister.
My friend taught me how to use a camera.
I learned how to use a camera from my friend.
Once you know the pattern, you can replace the people and the skills very easily.
And you don't always need to use how to. You can also talk about information or words.
For example, my mother taught me a new recipe.
I learned a new recipe from my mother.
Or, my brother taught me a new word.
I learned a new word from my brother.
That's a very useful pair for English learners because we learn new words all the time.
We really do. And sometimes our friends teach us words that we don't learn in a textbook.
Let's imagine two friends having coffee. One friend has just learned a new English expression.
She tells her friend about it.
Then I can say, my friend taught me a new word.
And you can also say, I learned a new word from my friend.
Here's a small challenge. If I say, my friend learned me a new word, does that sound right?
No. Remember, the friend is giving the knowledge, so we need taught. Say, my friend taught me a new word.
And if I say, I taught a new word from my friend?
Then we have the opposite problem. You are receiving the word, so say, I learned a new word from my friend.
Good. These little mistakes are easy to make when you're speaking quickly.
That's why it's useful to practice the whole sentence, not only the individual word.
Now let's take our English into the workplace.
Imagine you start a new job. On your first day, you don't know how to use the company's computer software.
Your manager sits next to you and shows you what to do.
You can say, my manager taught me how to use the software.
And after you understand it, you can say, I learned how to use the software.
You could also say, I learned how to use the software from my manager.
That tells us who helped you.
Now, imagine you become very good at the software and a new employee joins the company.
This time, I'm the person who knows how to use it.
So Mike can say, I taught the new employee how to use the software.
And the new employee can say, I learned how to use the software from Mike.
See how the roles can change?
Yes, yesterday I was the learner and today I can be the teacher.
That's an important point. Learn and teach do not describe the person forever. They describe what the person is doing in that situation.
You can learn something in the morning and teach something in the afternoon.
Exactly. A student can become a teacher. A teacher can also be a learner.
In fact, teachers learn new things too.
Of course. Imagine an English teacher learning a new language.
That teacher can say, I'm learning Spanish.
And at the same time, that person can say, I teach English.
So one person can learn and teach at the same time, just in different situations.
Now, let's go back to friends for a moment. Imagine your friend knows how to play a new mobile game.
I don't know how to play it, so my friend shows me.
Your friend teaches you how to play.
And you learn how to play from your friend.
Or maybe your friend knows how to take better photos with a phone.
Then I could say, my friend taught me how to take better photos.
And later, I learned how to take better photos from my friend.
This also works with simple information. She taught me the answer.
I learned the answer from her.
Now let's talk about something many English learners use every day, YouTube and online learning.
There are thousands of videos that can help you learn English.
You might say, I learned English from YouTube.
That's a very natural sentence. You are talking about the source of your learning.
You can also say, I learned many English words from online videos.
And what about the person or video giving the lesson?
We can say, this video teaches you how to use these words.
Good. The video is giving you information, so we use teaches.
You might also see a title like, this video teaches you how to speak English at work.
And after watching it, you can say, I learned how to talk about my job.
So even with online learning, the same relationship is there.
Someone or something gives you information, and you receive it.
The teacher teaches.
The learner learns.
And you can use learn from when you want to say where your knowledge came from.
For example, I learned English from my teacher.
I learned how to cook from my mother.
I learned how to use the software from my manager.
I learned a new word from my friend.
These sentences are worth practicing because they are useful in real conversations.
And now we'd love to make this personal for you.
Who taught you something useful and what did you learn from them?
Maybe your mother taught you how to cook. Maybe a teacher taught you English. Maybe a friend taught you how to use a computer. Or maybe you learned something useful from a video online.
Write one sentence using taught and another using learned. For example, you could write, My father taught me how to ride a bicycle. I learned how to ride a bicycle from my father.
That's a simple way to practice both words together.
Let's finish with one more everyday situation. Imagine you are learning English from this podcast.
Mike is explaining the words.
So I am teaching you something.
And you are learning something from this lesson.
You can say, I learned the difference between learn and teach from this lesson.
And we can say, this lesson teaches you how to use learn and teach correctly.
That's the pattern we want you to remember. Someone teaches you and you learn from someone.
Once you start noticing that pattern at school, at home, at work, with friends, and online, these two words become much easier to use naturally.
And the best part is that you don't need complicated sentences. Start with simple ones, practice them often, and soon you'll be able to change them for many different situations.
Sometimes the hardest part of learning a new word is not understanding its meaning, it's knowing how to put it into a sentence.
That's very true. You can know that learn means getting knowledge and teach means giving knowledge, but you can still make a mistake when you speak.
And that's completely normal. So let's look at some common mistakes that English learners make with these two verbs and fix them together.
Here's the first one. My teacher learned me English.
We can understand the meaning, but that sentence isn't correct in English.
So what should we say?
My teacher taught me English.
Because the teacher is giving the English knowledge to the student. Right. Teach is the verb we use for the person who gives knowledge or helps someone develop a skill.
And if I want to talk about the student, I can say, I learned English from my teacher.
Good. Notice the word from. We often use learn from someone when we want to say who helped us gain knowledge.
So we can have these two sentences. My teacher taught me English, and I learned English from my teacher.
They describe the same situation, but they focus on different people.
Let's try another mistake. I taught English from my teacher.
This sentence changes the meaning because taught means you gave the knowledge to someone else.
But if my teacher gave the knowledge to me, I should say I learned English from my teacher.
Exactly. Think about your role in the situation. If you are receiving the lesson, use learn. If you are giving the lesson, use teach.
Here's another one. I learned my brother English.
If you mean that you help your brother study English, say, I teach my brother English.
So teach can be followed by the person who receives the lesson.
Yes, I teach my brother English. The brother is the person receiving the subject.
We can make the sentence longer, too. I teach my brother English every weekend.
Or she teaches her children English at home.
Now let's look at another sentence. She teaches how to swim.
This sentence sounds incomplete because we don't know who she teaches.
So we can say she teaches me how to swim.
Or she teaches children how to swim.
Or even she teaches her students how to swim.
Good. This gives us a very useful pattern. Teach someone how to do something.
For example, my father taught me how to drive.
My friend taught me how to use the camera.
My coach taught us how to play football.
These are very common sentences, and they are useful far beyond English lessons.
Now that we've corrected those mistakes, let's build some natural expressions with learn.
The first one is very simple. Learn English.
I learn English every day.
Another common expression is learn a new word.
I learned a new word today.
We can also say learn something new.
I always try to learn something new.
That's useful when you're talking about general learning, not one particular subject.
Then we have learn from someone,
For example, I learned a lot from my teacher.
or I learned a lot from my parents.
Another very useful pattern is learn how to.
We use it when we're talking about learning how to do an activity. I'm learning how to cook.
She's learning how to use a computer.
He's learning how to drive.
We can also use learn to.
I'm learning to swim.
She learned to ride a bicycle.
So, learn to swim and learn how to swim are both common.
Yes, for a beginner, it's enough to remember that both patterns can talk about developing a new skill.
There's another expression that English learners should know, learn by doing.
I like that expression because it means you learn through practice.
For example, I learned how to cook by doing it myself.
Or you can learn English by speaking every day.
You don't only learn from books. You can learn by listening, practicing, watching, asking questions, and trying things yourself.
Now let's build the same kind of phrase list with teach.
First, teach English.
My sister teaches English.
Then we can say teach someone English.
My sister teaches me English.
Or my father taught me English when I was young.
Another important pattern is teach someone how to do something.
My mother taught me how to cook.
My friend taught me how to use this app.
We can also say teach someone to do something.
For example, my father taught me to swim.
Or the teacher taught the children to read.
Both patterns are useful. You can use teach someone to do something or teach someone how to do something, depending on the sentence.
We also use teach when we talk about classes.
Right. We can say teach a class.
She teaches an English class every Saturday.
And we can say teach a lesson.
The teacher taught an interesting lesson today.
Now, there's one small difference that A1 to A2 learners should understand because it can help you build sentences correctly.
You mean the difference between teach someone and teach something?
Yes. Let's use a simple example. She teaches English.
Here, English is the subject.
Right. We don't say who the students are because that information isn't necessary.
But we can add the person. She teaches me English.
Now, me tells us who receives the lesson.
So, she teaches English is complete.
And she teaches me English gives us more information.
We can do the same thing with other subjects. He teaches math.
He teaches us math.
She teaches Spanish.
She teaches her children Spanish.
I teach English.
I teach my friend English.
This is a useful pattern because it lets you make longer sentences very easily.
And now it's time to see how well you can use these words.
A mini quiz?
A mini quiz. I'll give you a sentence with one missing word. Think about the answer before Mike says it.
I'm ready.
Question 1. My teacher dash me English last year.
The answer is taught. My teacher taught me English last year.
Correct. The teacher gave the knowledge, so we use taught, the past form of teach.
Question 2.
I dash English from my teacher.
Learned. I learned English from my teacher.
Good. The student received the knowledge, and from my teacher tells us where it came from.
Let's keep going.
Question 3. My sister dash me how to cook.
Taught. My sister taught me how to cook.
Correct. She gave me the skill.
Question 4.
I dash how to cook from my sister.
Learned. I learned how to cook from my sister.
Very good.
I'm ready for question 5.
My father dash a small English class every Saturday.
Teaches. My father teaches a small English class every Saturday.
Right. We're talking about what he does as a teacher.
And the last one?
I'm dash how to use this computer program.
I'm learning how to use this computer program.
Exactly. You're developing a new skill, so learn is the correct verb.
Let's do one final quick challenge without stopping after each question. She dash English and I dash English from her.
What are your answers?
She teaches English, and I learn English from her.
Perfect. That's a sentence worth remembering because it shows both verbs together.
Here's another one. My brother dash me how to drive, and I dash how to drive from him.
My brother taught me how to drive, and I learned how to drive from him.
Great.
So today, we've looked at the mistakes learners often make, but we've also built some useful expressions you can use again and again.
With learn, remember phrases like learn English, learn a new word, learn something new, learn from someone, learn how to do something, learn to do something, and learn by doing.
And with teach, remember teach English, teach someone English, teach someone how to do something, teach someone to do something, teach a class, and teach a lesson.
These are not difficult phrases, but using them correctly will make your everyday English much clearer.
And now that we've practiced the patterns and corrected the common mistakes, we're ready to put them into longer conversations where both words can appear naturally.
Let's start with something very familiar. Imagine we're in an English class, and our teacher has just finished explaining a new grammar rule.
The teacher asks the students to make their own sentences.
I might say, I learned a lot in today's English class.
And if I want to talk about the teacher, I could say, our teacher taught us a new grammar rule.
Then the teacher gives us some homework.
Maybe the homework is to write 5 sentences using the new rule.
I could say, I'm going to practice what I learned today.
And later, if another student asks you about the grammar, you might be able to teach them what you learned.
That's a nice connection. First, I learn something, later I can teach it to someone else.
That's how learning often works. You receive information, practice it, understand it, and then you can share it with another person.
Now let's imagine a different situation.
A mother is teaching her young child how to cook.
The mother puts some vegetables on the table and says, first, wash the vegetables.
The child watches carefully and tries to do the same thing.
The mother says, good, now cut them into small pieces.
After practicing, the child might say, I'm learning how to cook.
And the mother could say, I'm teaching my child how to cook.
A few weeks later, the child might remember everything and help make dinner.
Then the child could say, my mother taught me how to cook, and now I can make this meal myself.
That's a good example, because learning doesn't always happen in a classroom.
Right. We learn from our families, our friends, our coworkers, and from everyday experiences.
Let's imagine 2 friends now. One friend has just downloaded a new app, but the other friend doesn't know how to use it.
I could say, can you show me how this app works?
And I might say, sure, I'll teach you how to use it.
You could show me where to find the settings.
Then you could practice.
After a few minutes, I might say, I think I learned how to use it.
And I might ask, do you know how to change the settings now?
Yes, you taught me how to do it.
Notice how natural that sounds. We don't need a complicated explanation. The conversation itself shows who is teaching and who is learning.
Let's make the situation more interesting. What if I make a mistake while using the app?
I might say, don't worry, let me teach you again.
And I could say, thanks, I'm still learning.
That's another useful sentence for everyday English.
I'm still learning.
You can use it when you're learning a language, a skill, a job, or almost anything new.
For example, if I start using a new computer program at work, I can tell my manager, I'm still learning how to use it.
And that takes us to our next situation, work.
Imagine a new employee starts at a company. On the first day, the manager shows the employee how to use a computer system.
The manager could say, I'll teach you how to use the system.
And the employee could answer, thank you, I'm ready to learn.
The manager explains the first step.
Then the employee tries it.
The manager says, good, now try it yourself.
After a few minutes, I might say, I think I'm starting to learn how this works.
Later that week, you might say, my manager taught me a lot during my first week.
And maybe after a few months, a new employee joins the company.
Now you know the system well.
So I can become the teacher. I might say, I'll teach you how to use the system.
And the new employee becomes the learner.
They might say, I'm learning how to use the system from you.
This is something I really like about these two verbs. The same person can be a learner in one situation and a teacher in another.
That's true, and let's show that with us.
Okay, Mike, imagine you know how to use a camera very well, but I don't.
Then I'll teach you how to use the camera.
And I'll learn how to use it from you.
I might say, Anna, press this button first, then choose this setting.
And I might say, oh, I understand now. I'm learning how to use the camera.
A few days later, you become very good at it.
Now let's change the situation. Imagine I know how to make a great cup of coffee, but you don't.
So this time, Anna teaches Mike.
That's right. I can say, Mike, I'll teach you how to make coffee.
And I can say, great, I'm ready to learn.
First, I show you how much coffee to use.
Then I try it myself.
After some practice, you might say, I learned how to make coffee from Anna.
And Anna could say, I taught Mike how to make coffee.
Now we've reversed the roles.
First, I taught Anna something.
Then I taught Mike something.
And that gives us a very simple relationship to remember.
When someone gives you knowledge or a skill, they teach you.
When you receive that knowledge or skill, you learn.
Let's bring English learning into this too. Mike, who taught you English?
Different people taught me English at different times. My first teacher taught me basic English at school.
And what did you learn from that teacher?
I learned many simple words and sentences. Later, I learned more English from books, videos, and conversations with other people.
That's a great example because learning can come from many places.
What about you, Anna? Who taught you something that you still remember?
My grandmother taught me how to cook a few simple meals when I was young.
And do you still remember what she taught you?
Yes, I learned some of those recipes from her, and I still make them today.
So if someone asks, who taught you how to cook, you can answer with the person's name.
And if they ask, who did you learn how to cook from, you can also answer with the person's name.
Both questions are asking about the person who gave you the knowledge.
That's a useful point. We can ask, who taught you English, or who did you learn English from?
And we can answer, my teacher taught me English, or I learned English from my teacher.
Now let's do our final rapid-fire exercise.
Let's make it quick.
My teacher blank me English.
Taught.
I blank English from my teacher.
Learned.
My father blank me how to drive.
Taught.
I blank how to drive from my father.
Learned.
My friend blank me how to use the app.
Taught.
I blank how to use the app from my friend.
Learned.
My sister blank English.
Teaches.
I blank English every day.
Learn.
Great! Now let's make the final rule as simple as possible.
If you receive knowledge or a skill, use learn.
If you give knowledge or a skill to another person, use teach.
And remember the direction of the action.
The teacher gives.
The learner receives.
That's the idea you can carry into many different sentences.
Before we finish, let's do one last speaking exercise. This time, don't just listen. Say your answers out loud.
Think about something you are learning now.
Maybe you're learning English.
Maybe you're learning how to cook.
Maybe you're learning how to drive.
Maybe you're learning how to use a computer program.
Make one sentence beginning with, I'm learning.
For example, I'm learning how to speak English more confidently.
Now think about something you can teach another person.
Maybe you can teach someone how to cook.
Maybe you can teach someone how to use a phone.
Maybe you can teach someone a new word.
Make another sentence beginning with, I can teach.
For example, I can teach my friend how to make coffee.
Now say both sentences out loud.
First, something you are learning.
Second, something you can teach.
This small exercise is useful because you're not only recognizing the words anymore, you're creating your own sentences.
And that's when new vocabulary starts becoming part of your everyday English.
We'd love to see your sentences too. Write one sentence about something you're learning and one sentence about something you can teach someone.
For example, I'm learning English from online videos. I can teach my brother some new English words.
Your sentences don't need to be complicated. Simple and correct is better than long and difficult.
And if you make a mistake, that's okay. You can learn from the mistake and try again.
If today's lesson helped you understand, learn, and teach more clearly, subscribe to Speak English Daily for more practical English lessons and real conversations.
And don't forget to practice these words in your daily life. When you learn something new, notice it. When you teach someone something, notice that too.
The more you use these verbs in real situations, the more natural they will feel.
Thanks for spending time with us today.
Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep sharing what you know.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone!